so today's video is going to be another look with the BlendBunny Cosmetics All Done Up palette. I just wanted to do another look with this palette for you guys. I kind of want to do a green look with it. I've been trying to kind of post more than one look with the palettes that I've been getting lately. There was at one point where I just didn't have time to film more than a first impressions because I have to admit that I've kind of been slacking on editing lately. The past couple of months, I haven't even felt like I like filming and all of that, and even editing I don't mind as much as uploading videos. Honestly, I hate uploading. I wish I had somebody to upload my videos for me. I'm not that big of a deal though, really at all. So it is what it is. I'm a one-woman show, okay? It's not like it's really that deep. I can do it, but it just becomes a bit overwhelming for that person when you're like, oh shit, I have this video to post, I have this video to post, but at the same time, nobody watches my channel anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. So I mostly just do this for my own hobby and whatever. So I primed my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then I just used my Lila B lip oil, and then I just set my eyes with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. Now we're going to go into the BlendBunny palette. I'm a little bit tired today, so sorry if I'm a little bit low energy. This weather is awful today. It was such a rainy day yesterday, and today it's just super cloudy, and there's absolutely no sun out because it's really foggy outside. So I just woke up being really tired today. I'm getting ready to see my boyfriend. I don't know when that's going to be. It's already 2 o'clock and I texted him 3 hours ago. So we'll see. So we're going to use this guy, and I really just wanted to play with the green shades today because I haven't actually used those shades yet. I think I've used most of the mattes in this palette, and I've used most of the shimmers as well, but I really want to use this row today. So we're just mostly just going to stick with that because I really want to use these greeny, cooler tone greens, and they look beautiful. And I really have been enjoying this palette a lot. I think it's gorgeous. I think BlendBunny is totally worth the hype. I think that their eyeshadows are beautiful. And I've been using this palette pretty much all week. I did actually jump into a throwback palette yesterday. I used the Urban Decay Honey palette. But for the past 3 days before that, I was only using this one because I really have been enjoying this. And obviously I'm going to use all the shades for you guys. So I'm going to put this in my lap because it's a little bit easier for me with a bigger palette. I usually just throw my palettes on the keyboard in front of me. Because it just makes it easier to grab the shades and everything. So the first shade I'm going to use is called Vision, and it's a very pale green. I don't know if that's going to be dark enough. Maybe we should go in with a bit of a darker crease shade. I think we're going to make it a mustardy green look because I think I wanted to use Vision on my brow bone, not on my crease. It's just too light for that. So I think I'm going to go into Unexpected and make it more of a mustardy green look, because then we can make the greens a bit more wearable, because it's not like I'm doing much today. I'm just going over his house. So I don't need to make it too green. But we'll make it so that the green is still obviously showing. So how are you guys doing? How's your December going? I cannot believe we are almost at Christmas time. I cannot believe that I think we're less than 20 days away. Yeah, 17 days. Isn't that crazy? Even though I get over Christmas in working in retail, because literally they have been playing Christmas songs since the beginning of November. Literally the day after October ended, they started playing the Christmas songs in the mall. It was honestly ridiculous. And as soon as Halloween was over, they literally put up the Christmas tree the next day. It was kind of ridiculous. Because usually the only store that does that in my mall is Saks. They were like the only store that used to put up their Christmas decorations like really early. And then like the rest of the mall like wouldn't do it. I mean, it gets earlier and earlier every year, but usually they would wait until like mid-November to start putting it up. Or that usually traditionally they wouldn't start putting it up until after Christmas. We actually haven't even put up the garland yet in our store, but they did start playing the Christmas music like that weekend of the beginning of November. I thought they were going to wait like they usually do, but they really wanted to get people into the Christmas mindset so people will buy products. I totally understand why they do it. That's not what bothers me. It's just the fact that it's like way too early for it. Like, but then there's still those last minute shoppers that come into the store, or they come into another store and they're like, they're upset that like a lot of stuff is like out of stock. So now I'm going to go into that Muse shade, which is like this really pretty like foresty green. Looks super pretty. I think I can build this up to be like really dark. And I think it's going to be really nice. Definitely need more. There's still those people that come in like literally the week of Christmas, or they'll come in like 2 days before. And sometimes, like, yes, we do offer express shipping, but sometimes our express shipping is like not really express shipping. And honestly, I think that's kind of messed up for brands to offer that when it's not going to come if you pay express shipping. Like, honestly, like, there shouldn't be any excuse for someone who pays $25 for shipping to not get it when they should. But at the same time, they know how crazy it is. I mean, I totally understand that it's crazy during Christmas. And, like, obviously, like, there's millions and millions of packages that go out during Christmas week, or in general, like, every day or every week. But, like, if you know that your company is not going to be able to get it out for someone to get it by Christmas, then you shouldn't offer it. But I know, like, they can't, like, stop that because obviously, like, they have to offer that for Christmas and year round. But also, like, for the people that wait until, like, literally the 23rd or 24th to come into the store and say, oh my God, I need this, I need this, I need this. And it's like, well, I'm sorry. Like, and then people complain that we're sold out of that size. And it's like, it's not our fucking fault that you didn't come in before the 23rd to buy something for somebody. And we don't have the size anymore. Like, it depends on what inventory they get. And then they get mad at us. And it's like, are we supposed to magically hold more larges for you because we didn't know what future customer was going to come in to buy them? Like, that's how ridiculous it sounds. I'd be like, oh yes, we should hide a secret stash of larges and extra larges for you because that's the most popular men's size. Or we should stash 32 through 36 jeans just because we didn't know that you were coming into the store to get them for yourself or for a gift. Like, give me a break. You're not that special, sorry. We're not even that special. Nobody in the store is that special for us to hide, like, jeans for you. Like, sorry. So now I'm going to go into the deepest, like, greenish shade, which is called Shapely. And it's, like, a really pretty, deeper green. And it looks so pretty. So originally I really wanted to film my haul video today. But I don't know if I'm going to have time. I mean, I probably will because I don't think he's going to answer me anytime soon. But this is a gorgeous, wow, that is so pretty. That's a gorgeous green. See, I like with this palette that it's like an understated green shade. I think my mom just got a dress. Did you just get one of your dresses, Mom? Hold on one second. I'll be back. Okay, so I just wanted to go try on the other dress that my mom ordered because the ones that she's ordering for herself, She still wants me to try it on too, just for fun. It's always fun trying on a new dress. So I just applied some glitter glue off camera, and now I'm going to go into the shade Shine, which is a really beautiful, like, duochrome green. I've been using this color, like, on my inner corners almost every time that I use this palette. This one is such a blinding greenish white shade. And I was a bit nervous about what, like, this shade would look like before I got this palette. I was like, what shade is going to go with the green? But honestly, any of these shades go with the green mattes in here, to be honest, because they're such gorgeous, like, super sparkly shimmers. But this one is stunning. So I really like this palette because it's like a muted holiday palette that doesn't scream holiday. And I think they kind of nailed something that you wouldn't just use for Christmas, but you can use it like year round, or you can use it like during like the season that you want to use it. Like, I feel like this palette's very like wintry neutrals for me. Like, I probably would not use this in the spring and summer. Not saying that you can't, because you can wear whatever palette you want to, but for me, I would probably only use this in like the fall and winter time. I mean, it's still technically the fall, so it is the fall time. It's not winter yet, so. Oh, that is gorgeous. That might be, I mean, all the shimmers, it's so hard for me to decide what my favorite shimmer is in this palette because they're all stunning. But this might be my favorite so far because it reflects so beautifully. And I just love how super shiny these actually are on your lid. They're so pretty. Just trying to take it a bit more on my lid. But we're still not losing the pigmentation of the mattes, and that's why I love this palette so much. Is that even though these, oh my god, it's so pretty. It's like a greenish white blue. It's so beyond gorgeous. That's gorgeous. Okay, and then like I said, for the brow bone, I'm gonna take Vision and pop that on the brow bone. I don't have any color like this in my collection. It's like a really light whitish green. It's just such a cool, unique color. And I think it's gonna go so pretty with this. Oh my god. This might be my favorite look I've done with this palette so far. It's such a gorgeous, like, muted green look, but it's crazy how, like, shiny this lid shade is, but it's still like a wearable green muted look. I'm kind of obsessed. I don't know who is backing up right now. I don't know if it's on our driveway or somebody else's. My dogs have been kind of going crazy today because FedEx delivered something like an hour ago. Then they just delivered the dress now. And now we don't know who's backing up. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh my god, I'm like obsessed with this look. This look is so pretty. Alright, so we're just gonna reinforce those mattes off camera and then we'll do the face. Okay, so now we're gonna use some affordable stuff for the face. So I'm just gonna use my Do It spray like I always do from ColourPop. I love this stuff. I've said this a million times. This is literally a straight up dupe for the MAC Cucumber Fix Plus that I used. Literally a straight up dupe for Fix Plus, not even funny. And then I'm gonna use the NYX Marshmallow Primer. So what I wanted to ask is, I mean, this primer is a pretty penny from the drugstore. And what are your thoughts on makeup spending, like prices and makeup prices in general is what I mean to say, when it comes to drugstore and high-end? Like, what do you think is overpriced at the drugstore, and what do you think is overpriced when it comes to high-end products? For me, I mean, I think that the drugstore has went up, obviously, in general, to become very expensive. Like, you used to go to the drugstore or Ulta or Walgreens or Walmart or wherever they sell, like, affordable products, I'm going to use the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil next. I was going to use the Baby Skin Primer, but since I was going to go in with this, I love using it with the Marshmallow Primer. So, like, there's, like, certain products that, like, but, like, you don't know, like, what ingredients, like, certain brands use, or, like, how much money went into the packaging and all of that, and I feel like drugstore and mainstream brands have to think about that a little bit more than, like, online brands do and all of that. But also, like, ColourPop has went up in price as well. And, like, pretty much everything has went up in price, let's get real, because of inflation. But over the past few years, I think people have noticed that drugstore prices have increased. And, like, most of the brands do say it's to pay our staff better, and which is amazing. Like, Elf has said that's why they raise their prices, like, $1, so they can pay their staff better and all of that. Because that obviously goes back to the employees that make their products, and that's amazing. I have no problem with that, and Elf is still a pretty affordable brand. But, like, Elf used to be, like, $2 or $3 for a product, and now it can be, like, $6 or $7, which, again, is not really, like, an insane jump. I'm talking about, like, Maybelline, L'Oreal, CoverGirl. They are expensive. Like, some of L'Oreal's foundations can be $25. And I'm actually really seriously thinking about repurchasing the L'Oreal Infallible foundation, because I actually love that foundation. And I actually have not purchased a drugstore foundation in a long time, and I kind of miss that foundation in my collection, and I'd rather add, like, maybe a drugstore foundation to my collection rather than a high-end one this time, because it's not like I didn't try the 2 high-end foundations this year, because you guys know I always pick up one during the VIB sale. But I'm kind of thinking about adding the L'Oreal Infallible foundation back into my collection, like the Freshwear one. That one's a beautiful foundation, and I kind of want it back in my life. So I might get that at some point. But why do they charge $25 for a foundation? Like, that's why I'd rather go for, like, ColourPop when it comes to foundations. Because even though ColourPop did go up, like, their foundations, I think, are still only, like, $14, $15. And I'd rather pay that, because I always know I'm going to spend $30 on the ColourPop website every time I make an order anyway. Which, again, like, the brand is still making more money off of me because I spend that. But I'd rather spend that on ColourPop than spend it on the drugstore, because spending $25 on one product is, like, kind of insane. Like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe we don't cringe as much when we are spending it on high-end products. Like, if I'm buying a high-end foundation for $45, I don't second-guess it. Because I actually think $45 is the standard. It's pretty much the standard price for foundations at Sephora or Ulta for high-end brands. But even, like, $60, like, I don't mind paying for a luxury foundation. But that's, like, foundations. Like, I feel differently about high-end foundations than I do drugstore foundations that are overpriced, because I will always, like, justify foundation purchases because I think it's worth it. I think that there's other things that are ridiculously overpriced from high-end brands that are, like, completely unnecessarily obnoxiously priced. Like, the Valentino blushes are $55, and I will not pay $55 for a blush when I can pay $5 more to try his foundation. I'm going to use that a hell of a lot more often than a blush. So you see what I mean? Like, or like a highlighter that's, I'm going to compare the Dior and the Pat McGrath and the House Labs highlighters. I think Dior is worth the price because I think their highlighters are stunning. And Dior has like a somewhat more affordable line with the Backstage collection. And you can get that Backstage highlighting palette for like $40. So I actually think that's a really good price. So more people can try Dior. And that formula, I would pay for full price for a compact because those are gorgeous highlighters. I would say the House Labs ones are not worth the price. And I've said this before. I think $40 is so overpriced for those highlighters when there are so many good alternatives to that highlighter that is not as expensive. Like the Makeup by Mario highlighters, stunning. And I actually think that that one is a better highlighter than the House Labs one. It's gorgeous on the skin. And then I would say the Dior highlighters are way more worth it. The the Fenty Beauty ones are gorgeous. I'm trying to think of what other ones. The Lancome ones are amazing. I think that those are more worth it. And the Lancome ones are severely underrated, and they're one of the best highlighters I've ever tried in my life. They're amazing. Sparkling Peach is still one of my all-time favorite highlighters, so what are your thoughts? I really would love to know. But there are like certain things I will spend the money on. But like honestly, the most expensive blushes that I have is probably Pat McGrath and the Dior Backstage one. I really just won't spend like $40 on a blush. I mean, the Pat McGrath ones are $38, but they are so worth the money to me because honestly, they're still one of my most used blushes in my entire collection. If I don't know what blush to use, or if I want to use a luxury blush, or if I want to use a blush that I know that I want to use for a special occasion, I will always reach for the Pat McGrath blushes. And they're pretty much like the only... Oh, of course, there's the empty tube of the Milk makeup. Of course. Oh, my skin looks beautiful. I love this tinted moisturizer. Tinted Skin Veil. But like, Pat McGrath is worth the money to me because I love her blushes so much. So I would just love to know your opinion. And then the same thing with the Dior highlighters. I think those are so worth it because it's such a gorgeous formula. Like, the formula is amazing and it's something you constantly reach for again, or you know the formula is beautiful. I think it's worth it. But like, I know that some people say that like the Valentino blushes are so worth it, and the Tom Ford bronzer is $110, and they say basically you would pay the same amount on like 3 other bronzers that you might not love as much. But to be real, I'm never going to pay $100 for a bronzer. I think that's ridiculous. So like, to each their own. You know, it's your money. Whatever you want to spend your money on, I'm not going to judge you for what you spend your money on. And I hate when people do that. I really hate that. It's like some people spend their money on cars. Some people spend their money on other obscene things that we don't need. But hey, if you have the money for it, buy it. If you want it, buy it. Like, I'm not going to judge you for what you're buying. I think that's ridiculous. If it's not hurting anybody, like if it's drugs, maybe like, you know, you should be concerned. But when it comes to like makeup or cars or purses or houses, why are you judging somebody? Let them spend their money. If they earned it, let them freaking spend it. So I don't really understand why people are so judgmental about that. It's more like that they're just jealous that they wish that they could buy it. Then spend your money on something else, or save your money up for something that you really want. Or don't buy it because you don't, and put that money towards something else that you actually need, you know? Like, I've been wanting a Louis Vuitton my whole life, but I've kind of like realized that I don't need it. And I don't think I really want it anymore, because I think because I love more makeup products than I would like, because I used to be all about designer bags, and now it's like, give me all the designer makeup products, you know? But what I decide to spend my money on is my business. And if I want to spend the money on a $40 highlighter, then that's what I'm going to do, you know? We just really need to stop this like vicious cycle of judging people so much. Like, it's their life, you know? You want to help them when you can help them, but like buying a highlighter over like a car might be a little bit of a better decision, but again, it's their choice. What else was I gonna say? I was about to make another comparison. It's different when like somebody is like, because I've seen this a lot on YouTube, and I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. A lot of people that I used to watch, like when they were like huge makeup addicts and that's all they would buy, and like they were so overwhelmed with their collection and they couldn't believe that their collection was this big. Some of them would literally skip meals just to buy makeup. I've never done that in my life. I mean, I am lucky enough that my mom buys us groceries, so I don't have to really think about that. But also, if I'm gonna buy food, then I'm gonna buy food. Like, I'm not gonna skip a meal for makeup. Like, that is just a little bit crazy. And that's when you know it's like kind of like an unhealthy addiction. Once you start sacrificing things you actually need for makeup, that's when you should be concerned. Not when somebody has the money, wants to spend the money on whatever they want. That's different. Okay, so for my inner corners, I think I'm going to take that center shade, which is called Centerfold, and it's a stunning gold. I mean, these are all stunning. It's hard for me to pick which one. Where the hell is my inner corner highlight brush? So there are some brands I'm still like eyeing for 2023. I cannot believe we're almost in 2023, you guys. It's kind of crazy. I think I'm going to use Centerfold. I don't know if that's going to be too pigmented, but oh, that's so pretty. I kind of eyeing a couple of brands for 2023. I think I talked about this in my last video, but I am eyeing the new palette, well, one of the new palettes from Ace Beauté. I actually have tried Ace Beauté in the past, but I was not crazy about the formula, so I'm still trying to sell that palette on Poshmark. I actually purchased it from an old friend from YouTube. I'm not friends with her anymore, but I did purchase it from her like a while back, and then I realized I did not like the formula. So then I listed it on my Poshmark, and nobody's bought it yet. But anyway, I don't know why, like, I'm so curious about giving Ace Beauté another chance, but there have been some palettes that they have released that have caught my eye. Like, I really wanted the fall palette that they released last year, but then I ended up skipping over that one because I just got way too many palettes last year. And I did declutter quite a few of the ones that I was not crazy about. And I even decluttered 2 that I wasn't crazy about this year. Like, I think the reason why I've found more of a balance with my collection this year, not to say that I'm not still overwhelmed by my collection, because of course there's still like, I have enough makeup for my entire life. But at the same time, like, it's easier for me to purge, because before I used to be like, I'm not getting rid of anything. Like, I could never. You have to pry it out of my cold dead hands. And now it's like, if I'm not crazy about something or if I'm not using it, I'm gonna sell it, because it's better to get a little bit of money for something than nothing and just throwing it out. I was like, I might as well try and sell it and declutter it to somebody, and if I get money for it, and if they end up not liking it and throwing it out, at least I got money for it, you know? That's my mentality now. I'm not going to hold on to something for dear life because I paid for it and I shouldn't get rid of it. Like, I used to have like this guilt of getting rid of things. There are a couple things there's really like no eyeshadow palettes that I regret getting rid of. Like, I'm kind of like happy that they're out of my collection. And I've gotten rid of a lot of eyeshadow palettes since I started selling them on Poshmark. I've gotten rid of almost all of my Too Faced palettes. I've gotten rid of quite a few Urban Decay palettes. I got rid of my Morphe palette a while ago. But that was before I started selling on Poshmark. I got rid of a couple of ColourPop palettes on my Poshmark. I mean, just 2, but granted, ColourPop? I mean, really, Caitlin? I'm gonna get rid of ColourPop? Yes, I did. I'm just using my Act Natural mascara by ColourPop, one of my all-time favorite mascaras, if not my favorite mascara that I have. It's just amazing. It's such a good lengthening natural mascara, but it still gives your lashes like the most beautiful length and volume. I love this mascara so much. Oh my god, this lid shade is insanely gorgeous. I love it so much. But yeah, I just don't feel like an attachment to certain eyeshadow palettes anymore. Like, I'll hold on to them for a little while longer, and then if I have not reached for them in months, then they are being sold. Unless it's something that's like nostalgic to me because of the packaging, like the Powerpuff Girls collection, the Lizzie McGuire collection, the Child palette from Star Wars, like that stuff I'll never get rid of. And like the Clueless collection, even though I have not touched that Clueless palette from Hip Dot in like a year, I'm never getting rid of it because it's Clueless. But if I have no attachment to them, they are going. I'm actually even thinking about selling one of my Glamlight palettes because I have not reached for Glamlight in so long. But I think I'm going to, I am definitely going to reach for my Christmas Glamlight palettes for this month. I just have one more shade to use in this palette, and then I have one more shade to use in my Game Beauty palette, and then I will have used all the shades in both, and then I can pretty much use whatever palettes that I want the next few days. So that makes me very excited. But also, I've been loving this palette, and I just want to use this like all the time. It's such a good palette. So what I was saying about the brands I want to try, I just went on a tangent for, you know, what I've been purging, but it just feels good to purge stuff. And I just want to know, like, is it hard for you to declutter, or if you're not using it, you're just going to get rid of it? Like, I really would like to know. I'm very curious. I think I'm going to use my Ilia bronzer today, even though I love the ColourPop one. I've been kind of into this one again, and it's so pretty. So Ace Beauté's Aura palette I'm really interested in. It's like this purpley red yellow palette, and it's just so pretty because for some reason I'm like really into purples lately, but I haven't done a purple look in a while, but I really want to do a purple look soon. And I feel like that palette will be so pretty for that. But at the same time, the only reason why I might not get it, even though it is a stunning palette, and I think I could create some gorgeous color combos with that palette, there's no purple shimmer in it. There's only a pinky shimmer in it. And I'm like, why isn't there a purple shimmer in there if there's a couple of purple mattes? So I don't know. I'm thinking about it, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get it or not. There's always like one thing about a palette that sometimes will just make me not purchase it. Okay, and then for my blush, I'm going to use my Laura Mercier blush. I love this blush so much. This one's in the shade Bellini. I think this is one of the blushes that I got this year. I'm going to have to go back because I have to start filming Best in Beauty soon. Well, not that soon, but I'm probably going to start either tomorrow or next week because I probably will have a little bit more time to film. And also, like, I don't plan on purchasing any more foundations or concealers, any more blushes or highlighters, so I can probably start filming all of those. I'm usually that person that like does not like filming them until January because December is not like the final, like I don't like filming them before December is over because sometimes I'll like purchase like one or two things in December and then I'll feel bad about not including them in a Best in Beauty. So like I really do try and wait till January, but I really knew that I was going to kind of limit myself this month because I already purchased the two brands that I was really interested in trying, which was Game Beauty and BlendBunny. I don't really plan on trying any new brands this year. But also, like, I'm still kind of waiting to see if ColourPop might potentially release anything else for holiday. So that's why I'm kind of holding off a little bit on filming some more, or starting, because I haven't even started filming Best in Beauty yet, but I don't want to start too early because I don't know if they're going to release anything that I might want. But at the same time, like, I don't want to buy any more makeup this month, even though there are some things that I do want. I was kind of like, my collection's pretty much at capacity right now. So, like, I would have to get rid of some more things just to fit some more stuff. And I don't want to do that because I'm actually really happy with my collection right now. And I've gotten rid of the things that I don't want. There are a couple of palettes that are in my Poshmark bag that I just haven't listed yet. So I don't really want to purge anything else. And I also don't want to add anything new because I'm pretty much happy on where my collection is at now. Like, if I want like a lipstick here or like a highlighter there, that's different because that doesn't really take up any space. But as far as like eyeshadow palettes go, I was way more picky with the eyeshadow palettes that I purchased this year. And I kept it at 20, even though I wanted to keep it at 15 palettes. I mean, I actually ended up buying, I think it was 23 palettes this year, but I only have 21 to rank because I did sell two of the palettes that I purchased this year, which was the Adept palette and the All Amethyst palette. I didn't even keep those to rank at the end of this year, but I will mention them in my ranking because I don't have to keep what I'm not using. So I used to keep them till the end of the year until I did the rankings video and then get rid of them. But honestly, like, I just wanted them out of my collection because I knew I wasn't even going to use them anymore. Okay, so for my highlighter today, I'm not sure if I went into this shade when I first got this palette, but I kind of really want to use it again because it has like that greeny shift to it. And since I wore the greens in the palette, I kind of really just want to wear this highlighter. So sue me if it's the same one, but I don't care. So, and then I also have still been keeping an eye on Flower Nose. I know I definitely want to try their brand next year. I want to try, I think, one of their eyeshadow palettes. I really want to try one of their blushes. I want to try one of their highlighters. And I want to try one of their, wow, that is super sparkly. One of their lipsticks. God, that is a lot of sparkle. I gave myself like a glittery mustache. Let's not do that. Holy crap. That is a lot. He still hasn't texted me yet, and I'm getting really annoyed. So I guess I'm just gonna film. So anyway, and this eye look turned out so beyond gorgeous. I love it. And then I also am keeping an eye on Makeup Menagerie. I still do want to try one of their eyeshadow palettes, but there has just not been like one palette that has made me bite the bullet to try their brand. there's always been like one thing that like I know that I wouldn't get use out of in their palettes. Like I really wanted the, what was it, the lion palette, like pure kitten, something like that. I forgot what it was called, or purr palette, something like that. But I ended up not getting it because there was like too many shades in there that I knew I wasn't going to use enough, or there was just too many matte shades in it that I was like, I'm not going to use this enough. And then I was really excited for the 9 pans that they were coming out with for Black Friday. And then when they released the color stories, I was like, these are definitely palettes I'm not going to use, because I thought that the kitty palette was going to be a little bit more neutral, but obviously Makeup Menagerie is not a neutral brand. They're very colorful. So I was like, nah, like those aren't for me either. But if they release a palette that I want next year, I'm getting it. So, and then I'm also still keeping an eye on ZC. I know I have been saying that I want to try ZC for such a long time, and I still haven't bitten the bullet to buy ZC. But I've just still been waiting for them to release like other Disney things, because literally they showed these prototypes last year on their Instagram, and then they never released any of it. And they released like mock-up palettes of like different Disney concepts of like princess palettes, and I was like so excited for them. So I've just been holding out for when they actually do release them. So that's why I haven't bitten the bullet on ZC yet. But there are some gorgeous products that I really want to try. Like I want to try their highlighter, I want to try one of their blushes, I want to try their lipstick, and I want to try one of their eyeshadow palettes. So, and then the last brand is Glaminatrix. I really want to try. There wasn't really any palette I was interested in trying from them, but I kept on seeing people like rave about their palettes. And then they came out with the nearly, is it the nearly neutral or the nearly natural palette? I always forget the name of it. I think it's called the nearly natural. And it is such a stunning like neutral palette. It's like, it's neutral but with a twist, and also like the shimmer shadows look so stunning in the palette that it's really drawing me in, and I think I do want to try. I mean, I'm definitely going to try them at some point. These are all brands I'm definitely going to try, but like there were the brands that I tried this year, which was Sigma, Nomad, BlendBunny, Game Beauty, and Adept. Those were the 5 new brands that I tried this year. 4 out of the 5 brands worked out for me. I love Game Beauty, I love BlendBunny, I love Sigma, I love Nomad. Adept did not work out for me. And then next year it's ZC, Glaminatrix, Makeup Menagerie. I'm brain farting. What's the other 2? Ace Beauté, and maybe it's only those 4 brands. Flower Nose. So those are the 5 brands that I'm probably going to try next year. But then I also like need, like I have a full list, and I'm definitely going to probably talk about these more in another video. I don't know why I talked about them all now, because I was going to save that for another video, but it's okay. If you watch this video, then obviously you'll get a preview. So for my lips, I'm just going to throw on this e.l.f. one. I really cannot be bothered. But I was just going to get up and, you know what, I'm just going to get up and grab one of my lip crayons from ColourPop, because that's what I really wanted to use. I love these lip crayons from ColourPop. I probably should just keep these in my drawer that I keep like my most used lip products in anyway. Like these 2 Just a Tint lip crayons, like I use these all the time, but I actually haven't used these in a little while. So I think I'm just going to throw one of them on. I'm probably just going to use the more nude one again, which is called The Boys. I love this one. I've used this so much. They still smell good. Yeah. Oh, that's so pretty. I don't know if they even have these available anymore, but I don't know why they discontinue all of their best lip products. Like they need to bring back the ultra satin lips too. I get why they discontinued the ultra blotted lips. Those weren't very good. But people have been begging them to bring back the satin lips. I That looks really pretty. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this video. I'm just gonna finish it up off camera.